Okay, birds in the hood. What does birds in the hood mean? It means that you don't need to go traveling to all over the country and all around and spend money and gas and tolls to go try to find raptors, birds of any type. You can find them in your neighborhood. And I'm going to tell you how. So in my hood, the only one that needs to be afraid is a squirrel. As you can see by this photo, if you're a hawk, you're the apex predator in my neighborhood. This is a shot that I took a while ago. This is in a graveyard, pretty fitting. And just to show you, you can get these birds, these beautiful raptors right around the corner from your house. You don't have to try that hard. I mean, there's a little bit of technique to it. We're going to go through it, but this is just a prime example of a hawk taking the prey, and it gives you a great photograph. That this is the stuff that I like. It's a little graphic, sure. Some people might get a little, I know, to start off a video like this, but it's what I like to do. This is what I try to capture on a day-to-day basis, and this is what I strive for. So, yeah, the hood is dangerous. Not really. I mean, some neighborhoods are dangerous, but sometimes the dangerous neighborhoods have the best birds. I just like to state that. But, all right, so let's just get down to it. Every bird in this video, and I'm going to show you a little collage right now, and I'm going to let that sit while I'm speaking over it. These birds were all found within 10 miles of my home. And this is a pretty impressive little collection of raptors, maybe a flicker here and there, as you can see. And I didn't really get into all the smaller birds and the songbirds. They're a little easier to obtain. But these raptors here were all found within 10 miles of my home. That being said, it saves me travel, it saves me gas, it saves me long days and evenings. It allows me to go to multiple locations in one day, or even if I only have a few hours, or even between doing something, or I just want to shoot out at 4 o'clock right when it's sunset and go get the owl, or I want to spend some time at the nest and I want to do things, but it's all close to my home. I don't feel like I need to pack up and pack lunch and be gone from the wife all day long. And you can do all this local. So my car is my traveling blind. I live out of my car, and I don't mean live, but you know what I'm saying? I'm in my car a lot. And what I do is I travel and I create routes. So in my I went over the journaling book. I every time I see a hawk, or I notice a nest up in the fall and the winter time, I check trees, forests, parks, and I note it. And then I developed this route to my office. Home from the office, I take a different route, and it's a loop for me. I ride it every day, and I see different things, and I track the birds and the wildlife. I see some foxes. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on that route. And I live in South Jersey. It is not a farm area. It's not a lot of fields. There's not a lot of preserved forests here. This is city living, sort of, kind of, not like city, but this is, urban, suburbia. So there's tons of birds, owls. Every set of woods has an owl. Hawks everywhere. You just need to find where they nest and where they lay and when they're active, and then you go back and then you wait. That's how you get them, and you don't have to go far. So, like I said, my car's my blind. Hawks don't pay attention to the cars. A lot of birds don't, the cars, they see them every day if they're in the urban environment. So if you're shooting out of your car, make sure you turn your motor off, because the heat from especially in the winter, that rises up from underneath your car will affect your image. That heat shimmer on your lens, as you see on a hot day on the road, that will affect your shot. I see that all the time down at the refuge. People leave their car running and ruins your shots, makes everything soft. But that's just one little tip. But fall and winter is my time. I look for nests. I look in trees. I'm constantly looking up. I go through corporate complexes. I go through big office buildings with a lot of trees. They always have a back set of woods. That's where the predators hang. Birds of prey love that. The edge of fields. So, that's what you kind of got to look for. The fray, the edge, soccer field, check the tree line. Big open field, a big complex, look at the edges. That's where they hang. You'll see them a lot down the big major roads, down the turnpike and stuff like that. You see hawks all the time on the edge of the road. Obviously, it's not a good idea to stop there. I've done it a lot of times. Probably not the best move, but it is what it is. You do what you got to do to get the shot. But parks, rec fields, drainage ditches, areas like that, that's what you want. Light poles, obviously, you look up on light poles. But if you see that hawk, on the same light post for, 3 or 4 times, that's kind of giving you, that's where he lives. That's where his spot. So then he's around there. That's when you start getting a little more creative. So that's just a little bit of my day. Here's another example here. This is a barred owl. Now, this barred owl is found, the whole family. This is in a local spot, in a local park, right down the road from my house. A lot of foot traffic, a school right on the backside of it. And these barred owls had 2 babies there that year. This was a couple years ago. And they live there. They come back every year. It's swampy. It's ticky. It's buggy. It's just a poison ivy filled nightmare, but it's right off the path. These birds are used to people. They're used to noise. And I had some of the best photography that you could ask for out of these birds. I mean, look at this baby taking his first flight. Like, you can't get any better than that, people. And this is, like I said, I went there every morning. I spent time with these guys. They got to know me. The mom likes me. She comes when I walk into the woods and call out. She's used to my voice. This is something that you can't. I mean, this is things people travel 3 hours to go photograph barred owls when you can get them right around the corner from your house. You just need to take the time to look. So, I mean, neighborhoods, yes, owls. Eagle's nest even, you can find these in your neighborhood, but then you run a little risk here. Now, this eagle's nest here, I'm going to show you some eagles from it. This is a local nest, and this is in someone's yard. And for the last 8 years, I have become friends with all the neighbors. I know them by name. I've had coffee with them. They bring me coffee. I bring them prints. So we do a little swap, a little barter, but they allow me to have full access to their yard, which is beautiful. I park my car. I don't need to make a spectacle. I'm not hanging out of the car and drawing in attention to the nest, which is hugely important. But, be nice to the neighbors. Be kind. Don't be afraid to knock on the door. I know nowadays it's hard to knock on someone's door because everyone's so crazy and frequent. But even if you leave a little note, maybe print out a photo you got of a bird that might live on their property that you might want to have access to a little more intimately. So think that one through next time you're, perusing around, because it makes a difference. You become friends with them. I have the neighbors at the nest, they call me and say like, oh, there's tons of activity. You need to get over here. They text me, the owl's on the limb. It's great when you have that feedback. That helps. That's part of my routine. So develop those friendships. Be nice, be kind, be respectful. Obviously, people's property is a huge thing, and you got to really be careful of that now, especially nowadays. So try to clear it first. Leave a little note, maybe a business card, whatever, and it goes a long way. It goes a long way. But neighbors and that stuff, they really help out. So also, and this is as far as finding new wildlife. Walk around. Leave your house at 4:30 in the winter, 5 o'clock when it gets dark. Walk your own streets where you might have a little bit of woods or a neighbor that with a big backyard that's full of trees. Listen, you can hear great horns in there. You can hear screech owls. You can hear barred owls. You hear them on a nightly, they're around. Then it's your job to find them. And that's the challenge, especially if it's close to your house or your neighbor or a little patch of woods at a park, at a playground. If you hear them at night, they're going to be within that radius. And I found so many owls doing that. Even at lacrosse games with my son, it's at the end of the night, and then you're walking home or you're walking out to the parking lot and you hear a hoot, and there you go. There's your spot. So, it's like the routine. And I want to stress that more. The routine of going every day, same locations, driving it there, park, a lake, this, that. I write it all down. I told you I journal. You saw the journals. You keep track of when the mergansers hit the lake, or when the hoodies come into the lake, or, this is prime time for the hawks because they're nesting, or this is when the eagle starts showing up. Once you start seeing those spots, you're going to fine tune your route, and you're going to be an expert at it, and that's what it is. But it's repetition, it's patience, and respect the animals. Patience is if you go to a lake and it seems like a gold mine for birds, or you might have seen a hawk fly over, or some good activity. You can't just go drive by at full speed and expect to see that there. It's not going to happen. Get out of your car, take your binoculars, put on some music, sit on a park bench, sit on a rock, just let everything come to you. That's the best way. Let it all come to you. You don't need to bring the camera. You don't need to go into the woods that you think there's going to be something and bring your camera on the first day. No, bring a chair, bring a cup of coffee, just hang out and listen and do it. So, it's like, the neighborhood, everyone thinks, oh yeah, you can't, there's so much. And I live in New Jersey, so it is a good hotbed for birds. I mean, not like Texas or Florida, obviously not even close, but every neighborhood has it. And all you need to do is take advantage of your local surroundings. Spend time in your car. I always have my camera on the front seat. I always even have I have a gimbal set up for my window if I want to do some video, which I don't do. And I want to go back to the last video. I apologize for that ringing noise. I just put a key light in, trying to get my lighting game up. I said I would learn something new every video and try to expand and make them better. Well, I messed that one up. So I had that ringing noise. People, I'm sure it's driving them crazy. It drove me crazy. I didn't hear it when I was editing, but I think I worked it out, hopefully. I think the lighting's a little better. I spent some time and some effort on this whole lighting setup. Hopefully everyone thinks it's better. I mean, for my ugly face, but maybe it makes me look a little better with this beauty light on. It's not a beauty light, but so let's go with a couple more. I'm just gonna, as I'm talking here and finishing up, I'm gonna pop a few more photos in of stuff that I found, and it's amazing that these birds are right here. They're so close, and this is the kind of stuff that you see when people are posting them, and I drove 3 hours and blah 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 blah, and I get them within 5 minutes of my house or 3 minutes of my house. Sometimes I don't even have to leave my house. I can walk around the corner and get them. So the neighborhood is your mecca, and you'll learn over time that it's so much better than traveling. I know I have. I used to travel to all ends and to try to get a bird or get a short-ear owl, or, you're not going to find short-ear owls in your neighborhood, and you're probably not going to find northern harriers in your neighborhood. But I'll tell you what, within 10 minutes of my house, I can find fields that have a northern harrier in it, which it amazed even me. I used to drive an hour to get northern harriers for years and years and years. And then, one day I'm driving down a back road relatively close to my house, maybe 15 minutes away, and boom, I got them. And now I know those spots, and I can go down south and find them. They're everywhere. You just need to look. Eagle's nest, they're around. There's a ton of eagles around. I mean, I don't know what state you're in, but, share some experiences with me, and I'll share some more with you. But this is something that I really, really am a believer in. And, I don't carry a Glock in my neighborhood. I just carry a 500 millimeter lens, and I can shoot all the birds I want without, doing any destruction. And so I hope you enjoyed the parody on the hood, and I would love you to leave some comments and hit subscribe. I would love to get my subscribers up. I don't ask enough. And 168 Wildlife on YouTube now, and 168 Wildlife on all other channels, Instagram, Facebook, website. Thank you all for tuning in, and hopefully this helps. Have a good one.